Hey everyone, this is Franciele Daly, and I'm so glad to be with you guys this evening talking about the 4 pillars to holding up your business. So, one thing I really want to get started with is I want you to really think about the challenges and just the different things that you've overcome so far to this point. And that could even be just with an idea that you currently have and that you're choosing to just go public and go for it. Or you've been in business for a year, 2 years, and it's just been a little bit more overwhelming than you thought. And I hope these 4 pillars, actually, I know that these 4 pillars are really going to give you clarity and just a different idea of not looking at the details too much, but also feeling like, okay, I don't feel so overwhelmed. So what I currently want you to do is, I didn't mention to bring a notebook, paper, something to take notes with, and a pen. So what I want you to do is, instead of having it long ways, I want you to have it sideways. So what I want you to do is, when we go through the 4 pillars, you can just put them at the top and then put your notes down. I think this way would help you a lot more. And if you don't want to do that either, you don't have to. But this is just one of the ways that I've taken notes for things in this order, and I think it would be really helpful. So I'm just going to do that. So one thing that I really went through was a lot of mistakes. And through those mistakes, I really learned how to create processes and systems that really helped me figure out what worked and what didn't work. And one pillar that really came up for me a lot within my journey as an entrepreneur is contacts. So the first one would be contacts. And what contacts mean is, what I'm actually, you know what I'm, let's go back. As I'm going through my notes, things are coming up. So the first one is contacts, right? So I'm going to ask you these questions, and while I'm asking you these questions, I want you to, if something comes up for you, go ahead and jot that down, because later on I want you to go back to that just during your after the, like, after the fact of the 4 pillars, and I want you to really look at it and see if there's any challenges, or what do you currently have in place. So how are you managing to keep in touch with those you want to do business with currently? So let's say you go to an event, or you go to a networking event, and you meet these individuals that could be possibly your customer, or you do business with them at these events. What is the process that you have in place after the fact that you leave? Do you follow up with them within a day, 2 days, 48 hours, 72 hours, a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, or never? Or are they just simply all over the place? And it's okay if your cards look like this. And I'm not and why I say this is, you have cards that are just all over the place. Like, just all over the place. These are not my cards. These are actually a client's card. And I have them in a shoebox because I have a process that I take them through. They send them to me, put them in. They go into a Excel sheet or whatever system that they're using, and we import them, and everything's in intact. So the next question is, how are you segmenting your customers to know when they bought and what you offered? what they wanted or what you offered them next, right? So not only segmenting your customers, but also how are you segmenting them in a list or in a version that allows you to know where they came from. Did they buy? Did they get the first product? Did you offer the second? Like, how do you know all these things? Or did they just come from an event and you had a conversation? How are you tagging them? How are you keeping track of those individuals? And how are you communicating with your potential or current customers right now? Are you emailing them? Are you calling them? Do you have a text message service? Do you have a newsletter that goes out, a physical or a digital, or both? Like, how are you currently communicating with them? And what systems do you have in place to keep in contact with them? So again, are you calling them? Do you have a text message service? Do you have a newsletter? Do you have something that's keeping them engaged? Do you have something that is keeping them up to date to what is that you created, what's new? I mean, if you, just for an example, if you have a product and there's something that you want to add to that, do you have a way of letting them know? So that's one of the pillars, and that's contact. So that goes into just what do you have in place, what systems. The second pillar is team. And as an entrepreneur, we must learn not to do everything on our own. You know that when we decided to really take on our dream and just what we're sought out to do, we forgot that there's others around us that can actually help us. And we were given unique gifts and talents, and it's okay that we can't do everything all at once, or we can't just do everything. So who do you have on your team? What systems do you have in place so that you can create those teams? Do you have, a process to understand if they are qualified, if they are aligned with your vision? Are they beginners? Are they advanced? Are they smarter than you? You have to know these things. So what systems and processes do you have in place? What accountabilities or roles do you have in place that you are not doing everything? So that could be you just don't like doing administrative work. You don't like doing the details. You don't like booking your own appointments. Or you can have it automated. That goes back to the contacts. It's up to you. You get to create this. It's all based off of what you need. And you know what you need because you've been going through the daily, day-to-day activities, and things have come up, and they sometimes are very overwhelming. So what are those? What struggles do you currently deal with when running the day-to-day activities in your business? Like I said, there are things that are coming up and you're getting frustrated or overwhelmed, and you should not be doing that. That is why you should have a team in place. And you really don't like using the word should, but it's just simply emphasizing that it's okay. Like, these things are supposed to be coming up so that you can understand that you need to branch out, like you need to bring others in your circle. It's not only supposed to be a one-man circle, it's supposed to be a team circle. So it's okay. The third pillar is numbers. Do you know the costs? Do you know how much you're spending? Do you know when you go to an event what is converting? Like, what type of process do you have in place that allows you to keep track of your data? Let's be real here. If you don't know your numbers, you don't have a business. It's a hobby. That's just the reality of it. And I'm going to be straightforward with you because I ran full-time mom as just see kind of what happens. And when I didn't know my numbers, things were very chaotic. When I finally sat down and really figured out how much traffic was coming to the website, how many people were staying on the website, how many new and unique visitors were coming, or when I went to a networking event, what converted, what didn't convert, what was the ratio? If I went to that event and I spent $20, did I make more than $20 or did I lose $20? It's those kinds of things that you really have to understand. If you don't understand these things, then you're going to keep going out there and doing, and you can't keep track. And you won't be able to measure what is effective, what's not effective, what to take out, what to input, what to not do anymore. So that's really, really important. And what system do you have in place that you can weekly, bi-weekly, monthly keep track of it? So when you sit down with your team or even with yourself, are you going over those actions and just utilizing the process? Are you being real with yourself? Are you getting down to the nitty-gritty stuff, to really figure out, well, I've put this much money in, this is how much I've, that it's come in. Are you negative? Are you positive? Sort of the things that you really want to know, you want to understand too. So that process of understanding will really get you down to the T. Number 4, I didn't even write numbers down. Let me do that so I can keep track with you guys. And that's 90-day plan. How is your time managed? And I don't say this to be the sergeant, like, hey, what are you doing every day? No. It's just creating a plan and being able to stick to it. What are the pending events that are coming up? How are you utilizing week to week? Okay, I took this action. These are my measurables. Oh, here's my gap. Maybe I need to do a little bit more on this in the next week. Or I did this action and there's nothing that came out of that. So maybe I don't want to do that anymore. It's not that you're tracking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's simply you're putting in some things week by week and figuring out, did something come out of that action? What was the measurable? I think what happens is we get really, really passionate about what we're doing and we go out and do all these things, but we don't really have a plan to really create, like, what are we doing that's allowing us to measure what's next. So I'm going to read these questions to you, and it's, on a weekly basis, do you currently follow a system or process that allows you to know what actions were effective? Simple. Okay, not really. Easier said than done, right? But when you start getting yourself in a habit to do this, you will start seeing things growing versus staying the same or going backwards. Every 90 days, you get to evaluate, like, what's going on. Again, do you know the pending events? Do you have them listed? Someone calls you and says, hey, let's go do this, or I have this opportunity. Is it going to distract you, or is it to keep you on focus? This is the major point of this pillar, is to keep you focused. So no one can come in and distract you from the next thing. If you have squirrel or shiny penny syndrome, this will definitely help you. And I think we all have that, maybe just a little bit, and some of us have it a little bit more. This will allow us to understand that, no, if another opportunity comes your way, but it's not what is supposed to be in your 90-day plan, you can let them know, not at this time. I'm really focused on this. It's those kinds of things. Going back to numbers, just because how I said someone coming in. When you know your numbers, you're able to partner up with people more effectively. You will be able to understand what to ask them while they're asking you what it is that you just know what's going on in your business. You want to know what's going on in other people's business, especially if you're partnering up with them. You just don't want someone to come in and take versus give and take, right? I mean, it's got to be a win-win. So knowing your numbers will not only allow you to know your data and what has been working and what's not working, what's to put in, what's not to put in, but it's also going to allow you to discern what opportunities come your way and what partnerships you can take and you can't take on. Again, it goes back to your 90-day plan. Someone calls you and says, hey, I have this great opportunity for you. If it's not aligned to what you're doing in those 90 days, you can at least give them, hey, you know what? I'm just really focused on this. But hey, if someone calls and says, I have this opportunity and it's very similar to one of your key points in your plan, by all means, now you know how to take it on. Do you allow yourself to see the time-to-time actions you spend your time and energy at, so you know this is something you should repeat or keep working at? You have to know these things. If you don't know these things, then you are going to keep going in circles, and you're going to get exhausted and sometimes very frustrated, and you may not complete this passion of yours. You may just go back to, figuring it out through a job or through another. It's going to be one of those things where you go and do something else so that you can continue doing what you're doing now. And we don't want that. We want you to stay focused. And that's why the 4 pillars is really allowing you to understand how to hold up the business, right? How are you currently managing your contact pillar? How are you managing your team pillar? How are you managing your numbers pillar? And most importantly, how are you managing your 90-day plan pillar? And really, these questions are not to confront you in such a way that it's intimidating, but it's to confront you in such a way that it improves you. So what are you currently doing? How are you doing it? Are you maintaining it? Does the maintaining part really, really, really frustrate you and you are just like, I don't want to do this? So those are the things that you have to sit back, look at the notes that you've taken. What are the little different key points that have come up for you? And just be real. I would love to take you through 1 hour in depth, going through the contacts, the team, the numbers, the 90-day plan. What are the things that we need to do? How can I help you? How can I serve you through these? Now, I've done each and every one of these pillars, and I've created systems and processes myself. And now I feel that it's my job to give you those tools and give you those processes for your business. Once you have a process and system, things start to seem to come together. And that is primarily my goal, is to let you see that when you have systems and processes and someone helping you maintain these things, then you don't have to do it on your own anymore. So I'd love to take you through a 1 hour assessment. And in that assessment, you will most definitely know how to manage and keep in touch with your customers. You will know how to segment a list or get an idea of how many tags and how many tags you need to put into a list of a variety. You will also know what it is or what sequence you want to communicate to your current customers and then your potential customers. You will also know how to automate a booking of an appointment if that's what you choose to do. You will also learn about how a newsletter benefits your business if that's what you choose to do. You also will learn about a text messaging service that you can input into your process if that's what you choose to do. You also learn through this assessment that what process can you put in place so that you can qualify someone that you would like on your team to be an accountable that you just don't want to do anymore and you want to just branch off to someone. You will also learn the process that I take through so that I can read my numbers week by week, bi-weekly, or whatever it is that you choose to do. If you don't have an online business, that's okay. You still want to create a week-to-week or bi-weekly plan so that you understand how your numbers are working. You will know how much it is, how much it was that cost to acquire that customer. You will understand the lifetime value of that customer. If you do have a website or a blog, you will know how many visitors you're having and your unique visitors, all of that. And when we go through the 90-day plan, you also will get a weekly basis system that allows you to know if your actions were effective. It also will allow yourself to see the time-to-dime actions that you're spending with, your time, your energy, your money, and know if this is something you should repeat. So pretty much everything that we've gone through, we will go through and we will answer them effectively and efficiently. And you will walk away knowing what your next steps are versus thinking you know what's your next step. No, you will have a clear idea to moving forward. So I really look forward to creating with you, to really being your virtual partner. And that's really what I've created as virtual partners, because I believe that when you have all of these in place, you will feel like it's just going to be amazing. I really believe your next steps will really be great. I love a saying, you be the visionary and you let me maintain it all. Really, you're the visionary. Let me let you be that, and I will take care of the rest. So really thank you for being here with me this evening, letting me contribute the 4 pillars to you and to your business. I look forward to working through an assessment. Go ahead and email me at FRANCIELLE, that's Francielle, at fulltimemom.org. Again, that's FRANCIELLE at fulltimemom.org to book your assessment, and we can talk then. Also, you can give me a call at 773-377-5211 if you have any questions after you watch this, and we can go from there. I really appreciate it, and thank you. Have a really great evening.